Hello everyone. Myself Dr. Shubh Arora, Assistant Professor from Department of Commerce, GIMS, Greater Noida. I once again welcome you all back to the lecture series of the subject Advertising and Brand Management. Currently, we are on the third unit of this subject, and today is the seventh lecture for it. The topics which we are going to discuss in today's lecture are: we'll be talking about the different branding strategies, in which we'll be covering the product branding strategy, line branding strategy, range branding strategy, and umbrella branding strategy. So let me first give you an overview that the branding strategies are few approaches which are used by the organizations for bringing the products or the different categories of products into the market. So for introducing those products or new categories of products into the market, the organization uses certain approaches. These approaches are like product branding approach, product line approach, product range approach, corporate branding or umbrella branding, right? And all these different strategies have different characteristics. So let's discuss the characteristics of all these strategies one by one. So here in the image form I have tried to show you with example that it becomes easy for you to understand that what are the main differences or the key differences between these different approaches or strategies used by the organization. So when we talk about the product brand, under this an exclusive name is given to a single product. You can take the example of Tide or Dash, right? Then when we talk about the line brand, it says the same concept across different products. So the concept here is same, but the products are different. Like if we talk about VW, that is Volkswagen. Then when we talk about the range brands, the one name on the group of products having same ability, right? Like the example of Green Giant. Then umbrella branding or the corporate branding, here it supports products in different markets like Canon cameras, copier machines, office equipments, etc. Then when we talk about the source brand, it says the products are directly named like CK clothing or cologne, right? And when we talk about the endorsing branding strategy, it says wide diversity of products under line brands or range brands, like if we take the example of GM. Now let's talk about the first branding strategy, that is product branding strategy. This type of brand gives every individual product an exclusive brand name, and the company name is ignored here. So every product gets a exclusive name, right? And the company name is ignored. So this strategy allows the brand to have unique values, personality, identity, and positioning. By doing so, it helps in implying that every new product of the company brought into the market is a new brand and can be positioned very easily and precisely for a specific market segment. The major drawbacks which are involved in product branding strategy are like product cannibalization, because if consumers cannot differentiate clearly among different product brands and involves higher, and this types of product branding strategy involves a higher advertising and promotion budget and is totally self-supporting, right, with little or not brand name assistance or assurance from the parent company or the parent brand. So these are some of the drawbacks of product branding strategy. Now let's talk about the product line branding strategy. Here the products appear under the same brand name and possess the same basic identity, but with some slight different competencies. If we talk about Follow Me line of hair shampoos, here the brand line comes under the hair care category, but the different line extensions cover complementary or almost same applications of essentially the same product, right? So the advantages are that it's easy for the organization to achieve the economies of scale in case of advertising and promotion, right? And every new line extension helps the organization to strengthen the position of the brand and its image in the market, right? So this is what is product line branding strategy. Now let's come to product range branding strategy. When we talk about product range branding strategy, a lot of products or services in a broad category are grouped together under one brand name and promoted with one basic identity, right? So it is basically categorization of products and services under one brand name, and that particular category or the products or services which collectively are put into that particular category are together promoted under one basic or main identity, right? So this is what happens in product range branding strategy. When we compare product line branding with product range branded products, carry out the basically same kinds of functions but at different performance levels, like various cars in Mercedes S, E, C, and A class, and Intel's Pentium and Celeron ranges of microprocessors. Right? So, therefore, the advantage in product range branding strategy is that a single brand name allows some economies of scale in terms of advertising and promotion, as the products or services usually carry the same overall brand positioning and value, right? So this is how we define and explain the product range branding strategy. Now here for range branding strategy, I have also tried to put a picture example here. I have taken the example of the company or the brand which is very famous, that is Himalaya Herbal Healthcare. Here the brand moves beyond product complementaries, unlike line branding. So all the products share a common promise which stem from the firm's brand area of competence, right? Like different products are there, but the ultimate common promise is from the brand Himalaya in the area of competence. Now we'll talk about the corporate, or also called as umbrella branding strategy, right? It is why this kind of strategy is used. It is used to promote its name as the main brand name, sometimes also referred to as monolithic or umbrella branding. Here the product is not branded individually, right, as a corporate brand. Here companies use this kind of approach like IBM, Virgin, Sony, etc. So the basic principle is that the organization believes that the company name is the life of an enterprise or the life of a business. So the second approach which is becoming popular here is the product brand name has a high profile which is endorsed by the parent company, which gives the product a stamp of the quality and the credibility which is originated from the parent company. So here the product brand is self-supporting if we talk about it in on practical grounds, and in all respects the parent product brand is totally self-supporting, not dependent on anything, and retains the assurance of the corporate brand endorsement. This type of corporate branding is also called as, or you can say known as, house or endorsement kind of branding, right? So here Nestle company, we can take example of Nestle. So usually Nestle uses this kind of approach, that is corporate or umbrella branding strategy, because it tries to protect and guarantee the performance of its multitude products, right? And also this kind of branding strategy is suitable for those businesses which are engaged in service industries, right, and usually try to provide services as the services are intangible in nature, which the customers cannot see, right? The company name helps to give them an assurance of quality, heritage, and authenticity. So basically in this concept we can say that usually the service industry for this corporate or umbrella branding strategy is very good and is seen as, has performed to be very successful in service industries, right? So this is how we can define it, and I have tried to use some examples here. Again, brands apply across a range of product categories like Sunlight, Dove, Nivea, and efficient means to link common associations to multiple but distinct or different products. So what we have tried to cover in today's class is, let me give you a brief overview very quickly. So in today's class, our topic was branding strategy, and the branding strategy, different approaches are used under branding strategies by the organizations, that are product branding and product line branding. Then we also discussed about product range branding, that I have tried to quote an example of Himalaya Herbal Healthcare in case of explaining you the range branding. Then we have discussed about the corporate or umbrella branding strategy, which is generally very successful in case of intangible services sold by the organizations. So we can say that it is very successful for service industries, or the firms or the industries which are famous for providing services or facilitating the customers with their services, right? So here we have discussed about different branding strategies used by the organizations for making their brand, making the products of their brand or the categories of their products famous and successful into the market. So that's all for today's class. We'll be discussing the next topics in our next class. Thank you and take care.